Hello everyone, this is going to be a really interesting video because we're going to put the big 5110 up against the 4590, and the 4590 is actually slightly longer because it can be loaded to a slightly longer overall length. And what we're going to do today, we're not going to shoot them to see which one will penetrate the most or anything like that. We're going to shoot them into one wet book, and what we want to do is see how big the exit wound channel is. Now let's set this up and shoot. We're going to shoot the 4590 first, then the 5110, and that's those big old cars. I'll give you a close-up look in just a second, or maybe I'll just go ahead and give you a close-up look right over here while I'm talking. So these are loaded pretty much to the max, and we're going to shoot them, like I said, into one wet book, and all we're looking for is what the exit hole, what's the size of the exit hole. Now, if you guys have already seen some of these videos, go ahead and write down below what size you think the exit hole will be for the 4590 versus the 5110. And we'll just guess who's right. I'm going to say that the 4590 is going to be maybe 3 inches, and this is maybe going to be 3.5 or 4. But I don't really know because I've never actually done this. I've always stuck multiple books up to see how far it would go and catch the bullet. But we're going to find out something together here. Hopefully it's going to be a whole lot of fun. And hopefully we're going to learn how big an exit wound we can expect from a book about that thick. All right, 4590 up first. Hopefully that was interesting. Well, there's our hole. All right, big old 5110 up next. Not sure, but that might have been a little bit more boom. Here's the carnage. I think we might have, this is the entrance hole, blew the book slap up. I mean, there's our wound channel. 4590, 5110. Which one do you think you would survive? I mean, this one is actually like if you could stick your whole hand down in it. I mean, look at that. At 4590. The main size of that crater is right about 3 inches, which is bigger than I thought it would be. But if you measure to the outside of these cracks, it's going to be about 6 inches. This one here, since it pretty much blew the whole back off, I mean, I guess we're going to have to just try to the hole size was probably about 6 inches, and then the wound size is like basically as big as the back of the book. If you look in here, it's very rounded inside. And then in here, this is mostly just tapered to a point. I wonder if this book just wasn't quite as wet for the 4590. Just in here, it doesn't feel real wet. I don't know what you guys thought about that, but I feel like the 5110 was a clear winner with 100% destruction of that book. So what I think we learned from that book is, don't be a target for the 5110. This bad boy will bruise it. This one here, as beautiful as it is, as awesome as it is, and as big as that wound was, which was over 3 inches, it kind of took second place. But it's a beautiful second place. I really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate you guys giving me a like and a thumbs up and commenting down below and all that good stuff y'all do. I'm going to wish y'all a happy new year, because this may be the last video I do this year, but I'll try to get another one off. But it's supposed to rain every single day this week. This was just a little sunny spot during this rainy day, but I feel like that was a really fun thing to do to end this year, and we're hoping to have a lot more fun and interesting videos to come. Probably going to throw some archery videos in there because that's one of my passions. And so I hope you guys will stick around with me for this new year, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to throw in the 4590. I shot 3 shots the other day. I'm going to throw them in just so you can compare them with this. And thanks for watching. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day, you hear? This will shoot a 250 grain bullet at 3,000 feet a second. Just to kind of give you a little bit of comparison. It'll shoot a 400 grain bullet at 2,250 feet a second. Easy enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot a 250 grain Barnes bullet, 225 grain, I think that might be, anyhow it's an Extreme Defender bullet, and a 300 grain Remington hollow point into some wet books right quick if the rain will hold out, and just see what kind of expansion. And obviously this in here, Extreme Defender, is not going to expand, but see what it'll do to that wet paper and see how far it'll go out of this 4590 1886 Winchester. This right here is a Browning, so it's not actually a Winchester. So let's get to shooting before it starts raining. We're going to use the 300 grain hollow point first, and then go from there. I'm going to shoot the hollow point low center. Well, low right. Okay. Now we are going to shoot the 250 grain Barnes low left. Hopefully that didn't come out the bottom. Now we're going to shoot the 225 grain, which is going well over 3,000 feet a second. We are going to shoot it top center. Now let's go up here and take a look and see what these boogers did. Okay, let's see what they did. This is the entrance holes. That's the exit holes. Them are pretty impressive. First book. Here are the entrance holes on the second book. Dump that stuff out of there. Look at that. Look at the size of those. This is the 300 grain hollow point, and it's obviously already expanded. Now it's shrinking down, and that right there is the Barnes. Third book. This is the third book. The Remington's already stopped in this book because it did not come all the way through. So let's find that. Let's see, let's find that Remington. What? Actually, it didn't even come into this book because there's no penetration into this book. So it must be actually, it must have actually stopped in this book. Doesn't look like it. I'm going to try to find it right quick. Unless it fell out on the ground when I moved it. I think I feel something in here. Maybe it just blew to pieces and there's no more left. There's a little tiny piece of copper. Well, I don't see any bullet laying on the ground. So anyhow, it did not. Look at the big, huge size of that hole coming in. I think I dropped it out right here. But anyhow, see how big that hole coming in is? Okay, now that other bullet, top center, and this one here is still going. Still going. Both of those are still going. Okay, the Barnes has stopped. And here's that big old bad boy. We'll set it right there. So we got our Extreme Defender stopped in this book. So let's see how many books that is. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. And the, let's see, the Barnes stopped in this one here. So let's get it out of here and see what she looks like. Not that book, this book. There she is. Let's see if we can find the remainder of that Remington. So we found the remainder of that 300 grain bullet. You see, it didn't come through the first page, but if you look in right here, there is some lead and copper. That is all that's left of it. That is all that's left of that 300 grain bullet. It literally blew up. These are the only remainders of that bullet. While the Barnes held together pretty good. And of course this one here, the Extreme Defender, it held together good. But see, this is your entrance. And these are the exits. And if you look at that, look at the size of those. That's your exits. And you can see this right here is that Remington 300 grain. And here's your Barnes. But if you look at the devastating, this is your entrance wounds into the second book. I mean, these are literally blown to pieces. I mean, just look at the devastation there. And you can see that that pretty much blew that bullet up right there. It just didn't go much further.